What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHETV, and today I'm going to go through 5 films that made 2025 for me. I know it's fun to talk about the stuff that sucks in a year, and you can see the video where I rant and rave about the 5 films that ruined my year, but it's important to remember that there are plenty of good films out there if you know where to look, and I'm sure at least one of these on this list will connect with you in some way, outside of the constant doom and gloom in the state of Hollywood and all that nonsense. Obviously, I haven't seen every single film literally in 2025, so check out my letterbox list that does change as I watch the movies, and the order of them sometimes moves around. It's not set in stone, this is like a time capsule. Unlike the worst movies that were barely movies and can hardly be spoiled, most of these movies are enriched with the less you know about them, so I'll do my best to not spoil anything and try and keep it vague, so you can check them out on your own time. At number 5, I have It Was Just an Accident, an Iranian protest film directed by Jafar Panahi. Haven't seen any of his other films, but I thought this was ridiculously good and clever, and saying something really important and really delving in to a dark moral quandary that the main character and an ever-growing cast of fellow ex-prisoners have to grapple with. The tone finds a nice balance of not being too heavy and finding ways to delve at the dark comedy without making light of the seriousness of the situation. Great script, great characters, and nimble script too, and only an hour and 43 minutes of very low barrier to entry. A lot of the imagery and performances are burned into my retinas, with it never getting too bogged down with how many characters there are. Beautifully shot. The conflict feels organic, as do the performances, with an ending that I don't know how it wouldn't stick with you, with its combination of character work and sound design. I love the way the plot gets moving in an accidental, wrong place, right time kind of way, and the way it escalates and explores its subject matter is so ingenious and elegant. The more films that can explore the impact of these evil authoritarian regimes on average innocent people, the better. An unusual, understated main character who I really enjoyed, with a supporting cast, with the standout for me being Mariam Afshari, who I thought was great. Check this out whenever you get a chance. I'd also recommend The Seed of the Sacred Fig from 2024 that explores similar subject matter from a different angle, different director. And also, I don't normally ask you guys for much, but today I do ask if you could spare a couple bucks to donate to the charity Moms Against Poverty that specializes in helping children in Iran, the USA, and Senegal. Use the conveniently integrated fundraiser panel to give what you can. It's one of the things I love about films, is that it can explore complicated, intense topics and point your attention in directions and places that matter without necessarily feeling like you're being preached or talked down to. Give what you can and check out this movie. At number 4, I have Sentimental Value, a Norwegian film directed by Joachim Trier. I hope I said that right. I'm not Norwegian, I don't know. A lot of people like The Worst Person in the World. I've yet to see that, but I thought this was a great exploration of the struggle and disconnect that an artist might have between the dedication to their art and the tension between the dedication to their family, and trying to find that balance, and what it looks like for someone who's older, past their prime, realizing that they might have ignored one of these things in a way that has repercussions in their personal life. The creative choice of having the house be kind of a perspective character, or at least a framing, I thought was really cool. I love the poster that has the 4 main characters positioned in the same way as the story. Elle Fanning's getting a lot of credit, and she does a great job in her role, but I really thought Renate Reinsve, whose character is an artist herself, was a particular standout performance, and struggles with her dickhead of a dad, brilliantly played by Stellan Skarsgård. The way this film tricks you is a brilliant exploration of its kind of thesis, with multiple times in the narrative making you question what is sincere and what is performance, where is the line and what is the difference at the end of it, with almost like a whiplash type of commentary, exploring the idea of what it means to sacrifice for your art, and the cyclical nature of the relationship between the artist and the creation, and how the creation informs the artist and vice versa, and how artists draw from their pain or personal experiences. I'm a sucker for these kind of retrospective characters who are at a point in their life where they are past their prime, and the Stellan Skarsgård character in Universe is a director himself who's struggling to get a script he's passionate about made into a film, and is compromising with Netflix and bringing in American actors to try and broaden appeal. And for me, a lot of films that explore the idea of creation can be kind of distant or hard to empathize or relate to when it's all about a big industry, or there's something insincere about trying to manufacture what that creativity looks like, that eureka moment. But I thought this was reserved and character focused enough, and didn't necessarily handwave or justify a lot of the characters' choices or actions, and ends on a point that leaves you thinking. It feels honest and vulnerable and kind of small scale and focused enough, and give you enough different perspectives and consequences for leading your life this way, that I found it thought-provoking, well shot, love the dialogue. This was fantastic, check it out when you get a chance. Especially if you like films about the process, like a Barton Fink, Fabelmans, something like this. At number 3, I have the Netflix movie Train Dreams, directed by Clint Bentley. Maybe the most beautiful film I've seen from 2025. I'm a sucker for westerns and period pieces, and this angle of focusing on this quiet logger who's not really trapped in a typical good versus evil situation. It's a lot more deterministic and focused on painting this tapestry of this single dude's life. And a lot of people consider it kind of sentimental and over the top with its narration, but I don't know, I'm a sentimental person when I get down to it. And I thought the narration helped to keep it focused and succinct with how short it is and how much of a single person's life it's communicating, an entire lifetime. And this is based on a novella, which maybe if I read, I'd understand where people are coming from. But I think in adapting it to film, it did a good job with that narration of giving a bit of extra texture and context for these small little bit characters that come in and out. It's very loose and an example of an and then kind of plot structure that does work, with the tension and atmosphere or vibe of it coming from the stark way the world is presented and the struggle and fears associated with just living in this time and accentuating that lack of control. With Joel Edgerton doing an amazing job in that lead role, he sells the whole movie, he carries it on his back. With all these bit characters coming in and out, with the standout being William H. Macy, who must be in this for like 5 minutes, but it's so memorable and contemplative and thoughtful. And with dreams being in the title, the way dreams or a dreamlike presentation is integrated into the movie through the editing, through these montages that move through big chunks and periods of time, is a really nice framing device to communicate that feeling of life just slipping through your fingers. It's extremely sad and lonely, and it won't be for everyone. There's something cold and brutal and uncaring about the world it presents, and as a result it's kind of therapeutic on a human condition kind of level that very much speaks to me. And the ending sequence really gets me, communicates that perspective, the use of the music, what it's saying about rapid expansion and how much changes in one's lifetime, and as I said, that feeling of life slipping through your fingers. I think it's expertly done. Really love this. At number 2, I got One Battle After Another, Paul Thomas Anderson's latest epic, and probably my favorite film of his since There Will Be Blood. It's a sticky film in more ways than one. The characters are memorable, the dialogue is fantastic and darkly funny. Sean Penn is one of the best villains of the year, down to that costume design, his haircut, the voice. His insecurities are so realistic for a person like this, even though the satire elements are so ridiculous at points. For how long it is, I think it does a great job of pulling you along with this chaotic main character, who, like I was saying about past their prime characters, Leo DiCaprio, as an aging revolutionary who's kind of fried his brain trying to remember old passwords and codes, is hilarious. It's such a good angle. And this super effective, simple action and stunt work, with a crescendo into this final sequence, which is so cleverly executed, in spite of how simple it is, that I can't believe I've not seen anything like it before. They tried to make this into some culture war lightning rod, but I think it's mostly focused in enriching these characters, giving them solid motivations that clash against each other. Benicio del Toro just comes in and steals the movie, even though he's barely in it. He's so good, so funny. I've seen this twice, it flew by both times. Johnny Greenwood's score is impeccable. I love the tension it builds, the weird sounds they're whipping out. And I think history is going to be kind to this movie. It's already aging well. It feels original and inspired, and you gotta check it out if you haven't seen it. What are you doing? Number 1, the one you've all been waiting for. War of the Worlds, everybody. Ice Cube coming in. You know I had to do it. There are a few people complaining this wasn't in my worst of the year list, but come on. This might be the best comedy of the past 10 years. It was kind of shadow dropped on Amazon, shot during COVID, with egregious, blatant Amazon product placements saving the day within the story. Eva Longoria and Clark Gregg and all these random actors just appearing, delivering the worst lines you've ever heard, but them all taking it so seriously and having no clue what they're even in, and it all through the perspective of screens. It's so goofy and stupid. And those Ice Cube reactions, they never get old. The comedic timing is perfect. It's hard to find a bad movie as good as this. Get some friends together, watch this. Hell, even watch it on your own. It's just as funny. A special jewel of trash. Okay, so my real number 1 is No Other Choice, directed by Park Chan-wook, who most of you might know from Old Boy or The Handmaiden. You can kind of safely pick out any of his movies at random and you're gonna have a good time. But this spoke to me in a way that I think might be my favorite movie of his. I love a good dark comedy, and this film has a spectacular hook of a downtrodden guy trying to find a job and devises a plan to secure his future by eliminating his competition, basically. If that isn't enough to get you interested, the technical elements of this film have my jaw agape many a time. It's meticulous and detail-oriented and funny and weird. The class commentary and shame culture and politics of the film spoke to me in a similar way to a Bugonia or Eddington, but in a way that I think will connect with more people than the more polarizing examples I just gave. Using every single technical element to enhance and enrich the storytelling, whether it be the sound editing in the scene or the use of lighting. So much depth and blocking. It's so unpredictable and energetic and high energy, and funny and anxious and awkward. The way it incorporates paper companies and trees and plants is really interesting. And the whole comedy of errors escalation of it is so satisfying, with an ending that I find to be a brilliant full stop bit of commentary that does feel therapeutic in this hellish situation we all find ourselves in. So definitely check this out when you get a chance. You won't regret it. So those are my 5 favorites of 2025 at the time of recording this. Let me know what your 5 favorites would be, how I'm right, how I'm wrong. You let me know, I'm sure you will. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye!